When you start your day, if you use your phone as your alarm, you roll over, you turn the alarm off, and immediately you're looking at your phone. You haven't got up, you haven't got moving, you're not hydrated, you're not seeing sunlight in your eyes. You are hit in the face by the world telling you what's happening, as opposed to you having a tiny little microcosm of peace, this little oasis for you.
You can't beat a few million years of evolution that's made us care about the opinions of others, want to feel like we're progressing, achievement, status, recognition, renown, respect, admiration from people that we admire.
Knowing what I know now, what advice would I give myself 12 months ago? The big problems are the big problems. In the same way that you've got the feet that you had a decade ago, the big drivers psychologically for you tend to be the same throughout your life. I put other people's happiness ahead of mine. Maybe that showed up when I was a child and I didn't speak up to mum when I felt upset because I was worried that it would upset her. Maybe that happened when I got into my first job and I didn't advocate for myself when my boss was treating me poorly. Maybe that happens when I get into a relationship and I'm scared of making my needs known to my partner because I'm worried that they're going to reject me or think lesser of me. When it comes to my child, I'm terrified to discipline them because I need their love and I don't want them to make them upset. This is a single trend that's occurring throughout your life. And all of the time, one of the most common questions that people ask is, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago? Great question to ask, not because it's trite, but because it is almost always the very same thing that you need to hear right now. Take a day off per week. Put your phone down, go outside, touch some grass. And it's the same thing now. It's the exact same thing now. I'm trying, but behavioral design, I've got better. The one thing that I can say, and the beautiful thing about the end of your review, there are some resolutions which I decided on a decade ago that I still do now. And I think that's really cool. So when I'm faced with the opportunity to plan, because I gave myself a little bit of space, right? And it never happened. Very few of the habits that randomly appeared in the middle of July are ones that I've stuck with and I really care about. Bad ones, maybe. I've maybe accumulated bad habits in the middle of July. But most of the ones that I really love, that are very conscious, that are aligned with where I want to go, they're ones that I consciously designed, right? They're ones that were done purposefully. And that's always been around a review period. So yeah, end of the year is not special. But when else are you going to do it? Right? When else are you going to do it? But yeah, 12 months ago and 10 years ago, I was doing the same thing, different industry, running nightclubs. Chill out, take a day off. I want to know what everyone else's big resolutions are. So I'll give you mine. Okay. No phone in the bedroom at night. Charge it outside. It's an instant 15% quality of life increase. Because when you start your day, if you use your phone as your alarm, you roll over, you turn the alarm off, and immediately you're looking at your phone. You haven't got up, you haven't got moving, you're not hydrated, you're not seeing sunlight in your eyes, you are hit in the face by the world telling you what's happening, as opposed to you having a tiny little microcosm of peace, this little oasis for you. And I get it, people that have got young kids are hit in the face by the children, not by the phone. But even if you do, adding the phone and the scroll and everything else on top, that means you're not present with the kids. So even if the kids are a problem, you don't need to have the phone in there. You wake up, it means that you're always on the other side. The world is happening to you, you're not happening to the world. When you go to bed on a nighttime, you're going to be using your phone before you go to sleep, which means that you're going to cut into your sleep time. You're going to be in an environment digitally that's going to make yourself feel horrendous. It's not good. It's not good for sleep. Whether it's the blue light, there's a little bit of research that seems to say that it's not the blue light so much as it is the scroll sort of dopamine trigger, adrenal, intermittent schedule reward thing, that's the main issue of what's going on. But it also means if you can't sleep, you know, you can just roll over and pick your phone up and now you're 2 hours into a YouTube scroll hole. That's who you truly are, by the way. People think that who you are is, you know, your journal entries, your diary entries. No. Who you truly are the videos that you watch on YouTube between 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. at night when you can't sleep. That's who you really are. So getting your phone and putting it outside of the bedroom is no cost. There's no reason to not do it. The only reason to not do it is somebody needs to ring you or something like that. I get it. Maybe you've got kids that are out late and you need to make sure that they're okay in case some sort of catastrophe occurs. But really, there are very few excuses to not have it outside. Radio alarm clocks have existed for forever. Buy a radio alarm clock. Take your phone cable now and put it in the kitchen or put it in the living room or something. Or put it on the other side of the room, right? Because you don't want to wake up with no charge on your phone. It's the single biggest: improves quality of sleep. It means that your mornings are better. It means that your nights are better. It means you're less distracted. It means you spend less time on your phone. You're forced to do something even tiny bit more productive, like watch Netflix or read a book or talk to your partner. The research around this is fantastic. Humans obviously push this a lot. Morning sunlight in your eyes. Even if you don't have the sun, even if you're somewhere dark and cold and wet, doesn't matter. Getting up and doing ambulation, so walking through an environment while your eyes scan left and right, seems to tune down your fear response. It makes your amygdala just a little bit more calm. So regardless of whether, if there's sunlight, fantastic, that'll be even better. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I know people have got structural limitations. This is me assuming that you've got like 20 minutes on a morning that you could slot this into. And if you're not waking up with your phone in your hand, that probably is the 20 minutes, right? Little walk, bit of fresh air, just get up, put your shoes on, get going, just get moving. You don't need to think. You don't need to do anything at all. Don't need to brush your teeth, get up and go. Probably need to go to the bathroom actually. Get up and go. No caffeine within 90 minutes of waking. Just push your caffeine a little bit later. It seems like the adenosine system isn't dominant during the first 90 minutes of the day. Your adrenal system is. Salt acts on your adrenal system. So if you use some sort of electrolyte drink first thing in the morning, that will help to get that moving. But the main reason for this, regardless of the research, most people have a 1 p.m. slump, feel a little bit tired. And I think if you just push that caffeine a little bit later, just see if you can hold on. When you wake up, you should be okay-ish. Just the natural cortisol, you've gone for your little walk, you know, here we are, the day's begun. Do you really need a coffee within 20 minutes of waking? Because that's what most people's first thing is. Just see what happens, test it. See what happens if you push it back by 90 minutes and see how you feel. At least for me, I know that works well. No alcohol for 6 months. This is a big one. This is much more high effort for a lot of people. Even people that don't drink that much, because a lot of the parties and things that you attend are not superbly fun, and some people use alcohol in order to make their family or the wedding or the birthday a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, of course. But if you take alcohol out for about 6 months, what it forces you to do is think, do I really want to go to that party? I'm actually having to anesthetize myself of the people that I'm around. Like, if you can only bear to be around your friends when you're drinking, that's probably not a good indication. And if your friends only want you to be around them when you're drinking, they're not friends, they're drinking partners. So I think alcohol's a big, I just like it. It just makes me have more fun. Hey, I get it. But I think if people look at it closely, they realize that they're using alcohol as a bit of a crutch. They're using it to bolster themselves in a way.
I'm a person who was very confused about himself for a long time, and kind of like a olden style explorer going and investigating some ancient tomb. I tried to work out who I was, and I still haven't done it, but I've got a lot closer. And I'm strange. I'm a weird guy, but I'm representative of normal people enough that many of the questions that I ask myself are questions that other people ask themselves too. So my body of work is a personal exploration masquerading as a podcast. And if you listen to it, you'll probably learn something about yourself too, because I'm not that different to you. I'm just different enough to talk about it. There's a great line that says, originality is just undetected plagiarism. And I was influenced by Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, Ben Shapiro, Alain de Botton from the School of Life. You know, I was very influenced by them too. And then you try to do your version of something that you like, because there's no rules to this. You know, you go and become a NFL star, and there's component skills. There's a very linear track of, okay, what are the component parts that I need to learn in order for me to be able to become good at this thing that I want to do? The same thing isn't true with podcasting. So you learn by listening to people that you like, and why do I get on with them, and so on and so forth. And then you make it your own. But I don't think it's a bad thing to be, you know, LARPing, copycatting somebody else up until the point at which you then make it into your own and it becomes different. Where you learn the rules so that you can then break the rules. But if you don't learn the rules first, you're just not playing the game. Well, what was it that I said? You know, the driving forces of you at 18 and 28 and 38 and 48, they tend to be the same. And that means that if you don't feel enough at 18, that's going to keep on going. And what people do, kind of like a hungry ghost, they assume, well, if I just achieve enough, I'll fix this internal void. You can take external success, grab it and shove it into this hole, and that'll make it feel okay. Now, it's my current belief that you need to achieve your goals, but the only reason to achieve them is so that you're free of them. The only reason that you achieve them is so that you know that that wasn't the answer. But you can't skip that point. I don't think that you can speed run through, I thought it was a Ferrari. I thought when I got the Ferrari that everything would be fixed. You can't leapfrog that. You have to get the Ferrari, realize that you're still unsatisfied, realize that you need to do deeper work, and then close the loop. Okay, right, the Ferrari can go away. And then we move on to what's deeper, and then we move on to what's deeper. But you're right, the richest people on the planet, the highest performers, the best sports stars, the most successful business people, all should be looked at with more pity than envy. What's happened to you that's caused you to drive yourself this hard? This isn't everyone. Obviously, there are some people out there who are just lovers of their pursuit, and it's a well-balanced desire to maximize their time on this planet and enjoy the pursuits that they do. But if I was to place a bet, I would guess that most high performers are driven by a fear of not being enough, as opposed to the inner desire to simply maximize their time and fulfill their logos and speak their truth forward and, alchemize their life. I don't think it's that for most people. And that means that when you look at the people who are unbelievably successful and drive themselves so hard, do I want to be that person? Probably not. What do you think's driving them to do that to themselves? To have worked so hard to have built $1 billion company? Like, why? What do you think? Why were you not done at 10 million or 1 million? Why were you not enough already? And again, that's not to say that people can't become successful from a balanced place, but I do think, I'm going to guess in your experience too, when you sit down opposite these people, most of them are driven by this insatiable hunger to prove to the world that they matter. But I mean, look at Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods in the news again. Last week as we record, he flipped a car for like the second time. Didn't he break both of his legs not long ago in a car crash or something? He fell asleep at the wheel or he's by the side of the road. That guy's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of golf. But what does it take in order to do that to yourself, to become that good at one thing? Michael Jordan. You ever seen Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame acceptance speech? So he basically, this is his crowning achievement. I think it was 1992 or 1993. Michael Jordan's crowning achievement toward the end of his career. And he spends almost the entire speech calling out all of the people that didn't believe him, litigating these disputes between people that he felt had slighted him in his past. That was how driven by revenge and competition and pain he was, that even in the greatest moment of glory, he still needed to find enemies and competitions and rivalries to keep pushing him. I think as people have lost religion, they're trying to find meaning in other places, and they were trying to find it in what capitalism promised. And they've done that, and they've found it lacking. Some people have found it lacking. And they're now asking themselves, what's the next thing? That's where meditation comes from. That's where journaling, mindfulness, gratitude, yoga, stoicism, these are all secular solutions to what were previously religious questions.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going on. I guess as you've got a globalized world, you begin to just look outside. It's the same thing as if you ate a really great meal, but that was the only meal that you ate for the rest of your life. You'd probably get bored of it. There's a lot of options here. Yeah. I should try something different. And you should try something different can often mean I should do something different, right? I'm going to try a different path. I'm going to try and fulfill myself in a different way. And it's a really lovely duality that the East had peace and is seeking achievement, and the West had achievement and is seeking peace. I think you're bang on with that. I think you need both. We're a social species, and you can't beat the biology, and the psychology is just the biology, right? You can't beat a few million years of evolution that's made us care about the opinions of others, want to feel like we're progressing, achievement, status, recognition, renown, respect, admiration from people that we admire. These things are deeply, deeply rooted in us, and they're easy routes, easy paths toward feeling good about yourself. And so you should get them. But the problem is assuming that that is the end of the game, or assuming that you need an infinite amount of that in order to feel fulfilled. And that's where people get stuck. But the same thing is true on the other side, that if you just try to become an ascetic, live in a cave in the woods, renounce all worldly possessions, I think you're going to struggle. I think that a lot of people are not built for that. The level of mindfulness that you need to do, your 10,000 hours needs to be multiplied by 10 in order to be able to get there. And most people can't. So for me, I think trying to play within the confines of the game, and this is different. I'm a little older now. I'm 38, which means the energy that I bring to my pursuits at 38 is different to what it was at 28. 28 was very much hustle, like deny how I bleed, deny how I feel, work until my eyes bleed, spit, sawdust. I want to do the thing. But part of the reason that you wanted to work so hard is so that you don't need to work so hard in future. If all that you do is work really hard so that in the future you can work hard with leverage, fine, maybe you love what you do and stuff, but even after that, okay, the rest of your life is going to be this. That's the one pathway that you have found, is to just crush it and be competitive and face other people, and you're always, okay, well, maybe there's something else.